So let's talk about some good news because there's all kinds of bad and scary news out there. But let's talk about the good news because there are some areas of the economy that are doing well. And I like to think about like second order effects. So the first order effect, the first order is this pandemic and everything that's happening directly related to the pandemic. But think about like the grocery stores out there, and they're doing pretty well right now. And it's not just selling hand sanitizer and toilet paper. They're doing pretty well because all of a sudden restaurants are closed. And in a lot of areas of the country, people spend a lot of their money and get most of their meals in restaurants. So all of a sudden, people are buying more food in grocery stores. So there's like a second order effect. Here's another one. People are home, and because they're home, they're watching a lot, they're spending a lot of time watching screens. They're watching Netflix. And after a couple of weeks of Netflix, now they're looking for something else to consume. And a lot of those people are looking to better themselves. They're looking at this time like, I've got this time off. I want to end, when we come out of this quarantine, when we come out of this isolation, I want to come out as a better person. That's happening. That is absolutely happening. And that is, I think, one of the reasons we're seeing behind the fact that online businesses are doing really well right now, especially education-based businesses. If you've got an education or a coaching or a training type of a business online, those businesses are seeing some of the best conversion rates in a very long time. And they're also benefiting from lower ad costs. So now is a fantastic time to be online. Now, of course, I think your messaging has to pivot a little bit. You have to acknowledge the situation that we're in. And I think you need to show up and serve, absolutely. And I think authenticity and transparency have been trends that we've had going for years now, ever more transparent, ever more authentic, whatever that means. But I think now you really have to lean into that in a big way. But my clients that I'm hearing from have seen amazing results. I've just yesterday, I heard from one who's in a very tiny little niche. You could call it like a hobby niche. And she just did a launch of $500,000, which is absolutely amazing. And then another one who just started a few months ago, literally put up her first opt-in page. I think it was in August. And she just, again, this is in a hobby market, a relatively smaller hobby market. And she just did a launch, and her first day in the launch, so, the launch is whatever, 5 or 6 days long. And the very first day she did $100,000 in sales. Absolutely amazing. Both of these were just incredible growth results for these people. Now, of course, they're not typical. Nothing's typical. Nothing's average. But the reality is I'm getting these reports. At first, it was just 1 or 2 reports, but now we're seeing it. We're seeing increased open rates. We're seeing increased consumption. And now we're seeing increased sales and conversion. So, of course, like I said, there's plenty of suffering going on. A lot of people are hurting right now. So it's not like I'm doing backflips for the state of the world, but I am doing backflips for the state of my clients and my students and and online entrepreneurs. And so what I'm doing right now is, as you're watching this, I've just started doing this launch masterclass. If you haven't been attending that yet, go over to my site at productlaunchformula.com. That's productlaunchformula.com. I'll put a link down below. This is a free masterclass. It'll be about 8 hours of training over 4 live sessions that I'm doing. As you're watching this, I just did the first one yesterday, and I'm doing the second one today. And we'll have 2 more to go after that. And it's just me teaching this process that I've been teaching for 15 years. The difference is now this is the pivot edition of my Launch Masterclass, because these days we all have to pivot our businesses. We have to pivot our lives. Our lives are very different from what they were a few weeks ago. And so everyone who's in business, it's time to pivot. It's time to make some shifts in your business and your message and your marketing. So that's why I'm doing this masterclass, just to get people a step ahead of that so they can tune their launches, their promotions, their marketing for the current environment. So again, go to productlaunchformula.com. If you're on Facebook, there's going to be a link down below. Wherever you're watching this, we'll have a link for you so you can join me in my masterclass and get on over there, because I'm going to be teaching some really cool stuff. And of course, I'll be making an offer for my program at the end of the whole thing, but I'm going to teach my heart out before we get there. So check out the Launch Masterclass, the Pivot Edition, and let's go get them this week.